Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Always Closing podcast. We have Carrie Pohlman here with us from Nest Seekers. Thank you so much, Carrie, for joining us today.
Yeah,
Why don't we start off by just telling us a little bit about yourself and what you like to do outside of being obviously a top producer as well.
My name's Carrie Pohlman. I'm with Nest Seekers International. Outside of real estate, I like traveling a lot. I'm always on the go, but now I'm primarily here because, gotta close the deal.
Right? Obviously, of course.
I love doing yoga. I try to do as much hot yoga as I can.
Okay.
I used to be a yoga instructor, and that's like a lifelong hobby of mine.
Right.
And I love spending time at the beach or by the water.
Nice. What's your favorite beach that you like to go to?
Malibu. Well,
before it all burned and crashed down, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Nice. Have you had any, I know you said you like to travel. Who doesn't like to travel?
Yeah.
Where have you been in the last year or so, or what's your dream vacation?
I'm always going on dream vacations, I feel like.
Nice.
In the last year is the longest I've stayed in one place.
Okay.
Ever. So, I just got to Mexico and domestic travel, really.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I know I just got back from Puerto Vallarta myself.
Oh, okay, nice.
I totally get it. Just a quick flight down there. And
Yeah.
enjoy yourself, for sure. Okay, so Carrie, I know that you are a top producer in the Los Angeles area. What areas do you primarily focus on?
Yeah, my office is in Beverly Hills. I primarily do the Hills and the West Side, any of the beach communities,
Okay.
From Venice up to Malibu and through the hills into the Hollywood Hills too.
Very good. So how long have you been doing this?
I have actually, believe it or not, just been doing this since May.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, it looks like you're killing it because you just mentioned how many listings you have.
Yeah. No, I started off really strong. Within my first week, I had an offer in.
Wow.
So, and I came in with like several leads, and I've just been gaining momentum since then.
Very cool.
So,
We'll share your secrets.
it's been a great journey. Hard work, 24/7.
Definitely.
I barely have time to sleep.
I know that you mentioned that you primarily focus on the hills and everything. How does the market look like, especially with the fires and everything that just happened throughout that area, especially in the West Side? So do you see a lot of demand right now? Are people kind of rebuilding a little bit, or is it still too early?
It's too early to rebuild. That'll take probably at least 8 months. It's been 1 month now. So originally they said 8 to 9 months for all of the debris removal. But that's going really quickly. It's record-breaking time as of now after a disaster to get that cleaned up. But yeah, people are starting. I think last week the first lot was bought.
Okay.
People are starting to buy lots to develop them. I've got people looking for lots. If you have any, reach out to me. But yeah, I've been working since the fire started. I've really shifted my gears to focus on relocating people that have lost their homes due to the fires.
I'm sure it's such a connection
close to home. Yeah. And I know like 9 people who lost their homes personally too. So my heart just goes out, and I want to help those people I'm helping them find temporary housing and then more permanent for the rebuilds and whatnot.
Well, that's just wild how you've mentioned that you were only in real estate for a short amount of time, but the gains that you've been able to accomplish. What made you want to come into this industry?
For years, I was always told I'd be really good at real estate. I'm a really natural networker, and I've kind of just been networking my whole life. And I have a lot of good contacts, and I'm good at connecting the dot. Like, it makes me happy to help people get what they need, whatever it is. So now I've centralized focus and that to the real estate market.
Nice. Well, very good. I mean, social media plays such a big part in today's picture.
Totally.
So what are your tips? How do you go about doing that? Do you see social media as a benefit towards you and your work?
100%. Okay. Yeah, I get a lot of leads through social media. I'm always posting about what I have going on, tips and trends for the market, tips for homeowners looking to sell, buyer-seller needs, and just staying kind of top of mind for my followers, and just so they can see what I've got and they remember what I'm doing. If they like have a friend, oh, let me point you towards her.
Of course.
I get a lot of people messaging me with leads. It's probably my main lead source.
Do you post your listings or anything
yeah,
on your? Do you want to let's shout out your Instagram here and talk to us about your listings.
My Instagram is Carrie Closes Deals. My newest listing I just got yesterday is in Hollywood Hills. It's a beautiful 5-story house.
Very good.
It's $6,995,000, 15,000 square foot lot, 5 bedrooms, 6 bathrooms. It's at the top of the hill. It's gorgeous. Perfect for like a music industry person. There's a studio on the first floor, or a content house. I've got coming soon a townhome, 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom townhome in Santa Monica, and a Beverly Hills apartment for lease.
Okay. Well, we have a wide variety of things for buyers out there.
Yeah, I usually do buying and selling, but with the fires, I've taken on a lot more leases, just because people need help with that.
Do you see a lot more demand on a buyer side or on a seller side? Like, are you typically working with both, or?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Carrie, I wanted to talk to you about the market, though, and how you've seen the interest rates impact the demand as well, and see what are your thoughts on it? What do you see? Right now in the landscape?
Interest rates are 6.5 right now. We'd always like to be able to predict what's going to happen, but I always advise my clients, you're buying the house, you're married to the house, not the interest rate, because when that drops, you can always go back in and readjust your interest rate.
That hits home, because a lot of people say the same thing that I hear that too. It's like interest rates are eventually going to go down, and when that does, go ahead and refinance. But it's for sure, when you find that dream home, go for it.
Yeah.
Definitely. Okay, so I know that you also mentioned a little bit earlier that you primarily focus in the hills and that area. Is that only where you are specifically, in the Los Angeles area?
No, most of my clients have been in Venice.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mostly do Venice, Brentwood, Santa Monica,
nice,
and Beverly Hills, Hollywood Hills, Studio City.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are there anything specific that you want to share with our audience about those areas, though, that attract buyers out there? What are some hot restaurants out there? Some hot
each area attracts different type of people. I think in the hills is big for entertainment industry, producers, music, actors. There's Santa Monica and Brentwood's more family oriented, and Palisades. Venice is huge for creatives and tech. There's a lot of tech companies that have moved into there within the last several years, so it attracts a lot of, I have a lot of photographers and models and just people that are in the creative space.
Okay.
There.
What are your strategies, though, about going about and pricing those kind of homes in those exclusive areas?
Yeah, so it's different for each client. You always run the comps and see what's comparable in the neighborhood.
Right.
With similar size, similar builds, and see also what has sold. I like to look, I'll start looking within the last 3 months and then push it back and do a deeper dive into the last year.
Okay.
And just go in and kind of pick apart what is similar, what's better, what is unique about my listing, and that'll shift the demand, shift the market price there. Yeah. But at the end of the day, the value is what someone's willing to pay for it.
Exactly, right.
So, yeah.
Exactly, definitely. Carrie, where do you see yourself in 5 years from now, though? I know that you mentioned you're relatively new to the industry.
Yeah.
However, I've seen, just from talking to you, I see the drive within.
Yeah.
And I definitely see that you have the motivation. So where do you see yourself in about 5 years?
I've never worked so hard at any work in my whole life, and I love what I do. Truly, and it's the first time I've been able to like say that with a job, so it's really cool and exciting, and I've gained a lot of momentum so far and haven't even hit a year yet.
Right.
5 years, I'm definitely going to be a top broker. I know that I'm going to.
You for sure will. You definitely will. Yes. I've already had it out there already.
Yeah, I've already had 2 people approach me wanting to start teams with me.
Oh, wow. Good for you.
And I'm one of the top 2 in my office out of over 100. And I definitely want to be the top in LA. Oh, I forgot to mention one listing. I just have a building in construction in Brickell.
Okay.
3 to 16 million. Or 3 to 19 million.
Yes. Okay.
But I want to be the go-to realtor for castles and islands.
Okay. And you will be. I promise you.
Thank you. I feel like I will too.
You definitely will. What keeps you motivated? What holds you into that, lane that to keep driving forward, to keep pushing forward, to keep manifesting that? What pushes you? What are your...
I mean, what I love about the real estate market is there's no ceiling to the potential of growth that you can do. Of
course. It's limitless.
It makes me so happy to make other people happy, to find, like, genuinely, I love getting people in something that they, like a home that they love, what they're passionate about. And I work like I'm working for myself. Like when I represent a house, I'm available 24/7. And most of my clients are international. Okay. Like I bought, my first deal I did was over FaceTime. I did one over FaceTime last week. My Santa Monica house, I haven't even met the buyer. I'm handling everything. She's in London. Like I have to be, but like, that being said, I have clients starting to reach me at like 3 a.m., not middle of the night.
Especially in London, of course.
Yeah. So it's my top priority because I know that I have what it takes to be at the top.
Right.
And I'm putting in the work to make it happen.
For sure. Well, good.
Yeah.
Especially like you just said, that accessibility, I think goes a long way for people, especially when you're in another country and they're able to access you at all hours of the day for you to answer the phone at 2 or 3 in the morning.
My personal thing, my rule I try to go by is I'll get back to you within 12 hours, 24 max.
Right. Of course.
But, everyone has their phone available, and I'm just a phone call or text message away. Or DM.
How often do you stay in contact with your clients? Do you check in with them on a daily basis?
Yeah. So my listing in Santa Monica now that we're getting ready, we check in every day. Okay. Usually like every day if we're hot moving on something, working on something, I like to do daily updates.
Very good.
Yeah, because people like to know, we're not moving around small amounts of money here. People like to know that they have someone representing them that's on top of it and is putting in the due diligence and, supervising very hands-on the process.
You would think that even though that's so like obvious, there's a lot of agents though that don't go that extra step. So you guys have heard it from here first.
Yeah.
So definitely reach out to Carrie if you guys have any listings, anything you want to talk about, any moves that you're willing to make in the near future. Please reach out to Carrie here, and I'm sure you'll be in great hands.
I just started getting into the commercial space too, and development too. I have a building coming in West Hollywood, and just put an offer in for a client on a building in Santa Monica.
Wow! So you did all. You're one-stop shop here. Do you see any difference in the commercial aspects versus residential, or is it pretty?
Yeah, it's very different.
Okay.
No, it's very different. With residential, well, I'm just kind of more connected off the bat because that's what I started doing with luxury residential. So there's like networking groups that I'm part of, and I've just kind of established my go-to people in the industry that I work with. Right. So I've just within like the last few months started getting into the commercial space, and there's a lot to learn, but I have a few great mentors. That's another tip I want to say. Anyone interested in getting in the real estate industry or in it, I like to learn as much as I can. I'm asking everyone for tips, tricks, any guidance I can get. And I just also got my first person that I'm mentoring last week too. I know, and I'm like,
Or how do you have this time to travel, Carrie? Because
I don't.
You are literally busy every second of the day.
No, I haven't been traveling. Okay. I used to be gone more than I was here.
Right.
But now only special occasions.
Got it. Carrie, what else is there that you can share with any people looking to get into this industry? Do you have any stories you can share with us? Do you have like anything that kind of sticks up at the top of your head that you want to share?
Yeah, one thing for sure to say to anyone getting in the industry, I think a lot of people don't realize how much work it is.
Right.
It's a lot of people think, and I even thought coming into it, I can work when I want to, not work when I don't want to.
It's easy money.
No.
It's such the biggest myth. Yes, for sure.
I work every single day from 6 a.m. till 2 a.m. My social life is out the window. Like, I don't.
Right.
This is my life.
I totally get it. I totally get it.
But it's paying off quickly. Compared, like a lot of people, when you start, even my mentors didn't have their first transactions until a year and a half, 2 years in.
Totally, for sure.
Yeah.
What made you focus and transition, though, into that luxury real estate niche in the market?
I was just ready to start my career and plant some seeds. Like I said, I've been on the go a lot, and I am ready to stay in one place and become, a part of the community, and this is where I see the most potential for growth.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, I'm so excited to see your journey unfold, especially that you have all of these great listings coming up, and I'm sure that you're going to have more. A little other thing that I wanted to talk to you about, what is the biggest lesson you've learned so far from being an agent?
I guess kind of a warning sign is don't trust everyone. There's just like people in the industry, there's a lot of sharks, and me by nature, I'm a very like trusting and giving person. And if someone like asks for help, I put my all into it. And like you get cut out of deals easy. Like people that are nice to your face will turn around and throw you under the bus and not. They'll tell you they have your back, but they don't.
For sure.
I mean, if I tell you that, I do, but
I feel like you would have to go through some of those things even to kind of see like through the true colors, right? You got to definitely live and learn.
100%.
Is there something that you can share with us that you've gone through and experienced, or even a story that we can talk about that you've recently undertaken?
I think just one big lesson for me has been I've really grown into like believing in myself and knowing that I'm capable of doing it. Like the mentors that I had, well, my first mentor, Ernie Carswell, was amazing. He's incredible. But
did you meet him?
I actually met him while I was getting while I was studying to take my test. I had just taken it and it takes like 6 weeks to get the approval on it. Yeah. But I had just taken it and hadn't gotten in the industry yet. And some friends of mine were buying a house up in Brentwood, and they invited me to come along and check it out and just kind of get involved in the process. And so I was getting in the industry, and Ernie, who's one of the top agents in the country, was representing the house, and I met him there.
Very good.
And then once I got my license, finally, I had a buyer from Florida, big tech guy, come into town. He was like, "Oh, you got your license, didn't you? I want to get another house here." And I was like, "Wow. Okay, I got to find a brokerage real quick." It was like the day after I got my license. Yeah. So he invited me to come work for him, and they don't usually take brand new agents. I had to have like 4 interviews. Wow. The partner from New York flew in to meet me and like fast track me, and so I started kind of like at the top with the best people to learn from. And
that's so inspiring. Sure, especially that you said people have mentioned to you all the time that you were meant for this role here. And it's such an important thing, I think, even to have like a team around you that not only inspires you but motivates you and you can learn from, because that's priceless.
100%. That's so great. And everyone in my personal life is so supportive of like everything that we all do, and we're all our biggest cheerleaders, but like it's not really like that in the industry. Like,
it's cutthroat.
It's very cutthroat, and you have to look out for yourself and just do the hard work. You gotta hustle. You gotta
For sure.
Yeah.
Just because
and
it's
you
so
learn as you go
competitive, right?
It's just so competitive.
Especially I feel like in the area that you focus on.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm very lucky that I've had as much momentum as I have so far in traction. And really a lot of the real estate industry too is your networking and your contacts and who you know.
Right.
Because you're connecting the dots.
Definitely.
Yeah. Especially with off markets. I do a lot of off market deals.
Okay.
Meaning they're not advertised on the MLS or anything, and it's all word of mouth. So I have my people who do that a lot also that I reach out to and see what they have, and you know, we exchange what we've got, buyer needs, client needs. So
right. So you just have a buyer in mind and you have their
relationship.
Needs and you just, okay.
Yeah, a huge relationship business. So if you're not a people person, it might be tricky.
Definitely. That's for sure. So with all this stress, though, involved in your everyday life and that you're working 24/7, though, I need to know, though, Carrie, what are some things that you do to decompress?
Well, first off, sometimes you have a panic attack. Me yesterday. You just try and stay on top of everything. Prioritizing what's most important, what your biggest clients are, and long-term prioritizing. Because you got to think these aren't just going to be your clients for one transaction, most likely. I mean, some of them will, but a lot of them are people you want to build your reputation with, and a lot of your clients come from referrals. So you want to show up and do your best always, because when people say, oh, how was the person that sold your house? I'm going to sell mine too. They're going to give honest feedback.
Of course.
You know?
And not only that, but they're like such a lifelong investment, because it's not the only time that they're going to sell their house or look for another thing.
No,
so.
yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, so that's the goal, is I just try and show up and give it my all and do my best every day. It definitely gets overwhelming, but I've already started like forming a team around me to delegate tasks to that I need help, and just, you know, cutting people in a percent. Also, don't be scared to think that like delegating is bad. That's something I have a hard time releasing control. I'm like, I have so much to do, but I know I'm a perfectionist too. I'm like, well, if I have to stay up all night doing it, it'll be done perfect.
Right.
So I struggle with like passing off items, but just kind of learning to do that. And you just have to get your team of good, trusted people together that are by your side. And I wanna help everyone. I'm not like a very competitive person in that sense that like I'm gonna take this deal from you. I'm like, if you have something to bring to the table that I don't, let's work together. We'll make less commission, but it'll give us momentum.
Exactly.
And we'll work together and we'll know that we do work together and bring other deals to each other.
For sure.
It's so much teamwork.
Important.
Yeah.
It's so important nowadays. Just to wrap it up, can you share us the biggest lesson you've learned as being an agent so far?
I mean, that's really, teamwork is a huge thing. I hate to say that a lesson is to like be weary of trusting people, but it is the truth.
Especially in this market, for sure.
Yeah. Work hard, stay focused.
There you go. That's it.
Yeah.
You guys heard it first.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. This is Carrie with Nest Seekers. Carrie, did you have any other outlets besides Instagram that they can connect with you on?
I really just do Instagram. I need to do TikTok and LinkedIn and Google, and you know, it's all on my to-do list.
No worries. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Of course.
It's fun.
No worries.